There's something off about them. You can feel it, but you can't quite explain it. Their words sound supportive, but there's an edge to them. Their smile is there, but it never quite reaches their eyes. You achieve something great, and instead of celebrating with you, they downplay it. Just a lucky break. Just a small win. Jealousy is a strange thing. It doesn't always show up as open hatred. Sometimes it's wrapped in fake praise, hidden in backhanded compliments, or disguised as friendly advice that somehow always discourages you. The worst part? Most people don't even realize when it's happening. They keep these jealous people around, thinking they're friends, until one day they realize the truth. But you won't have to wait for that day. Because today, we're exposing 10 clear signs that someone is jealous of you. Once you see these signs, you'll never unsee them. 1. Their compliments are poisoned with hidden attacks. At first, they seem like a friend. They smile, they nod, and they say things that sound like praise. "Wow, that's amazing!" Or, "I wish I could do that too." But something feels off. Their voice lacks real enthusiasm. Their eyes don't match their words. Their energy isn't one of genuine support, but of forced politeness. It's like they're saying it because they have to, not because they want to. You start noticing a pattern. Every time you share good news, their compliments come wrapped in a subtle sting. A backhanded compliment, the weapon of choice for someone who's secretly jealous. They won't openly criticize you, but they'll sneak their resentment into their words, hoping you won't notice. "Wow, I didn't expect you to pull that off." Translation: "I thought you'd fail." "You're so lucky." Translation: "You don't deserve this. You just got lucky." "That's great, but let's see how long you can keep it up." Translation: "I hope you don't." "You're finally getting recognition, huh?" Translation: "Took you long enough." "Oh, you got a promotion? I heard they were just handing those out." Translation: "It's not because you're talented. You just got an easy break. At first, you might brush it off. Maybe they didn't mean it that way. Maybe you're overthinking. But then, something even weirder happens. When you achieve something big, something undeniably impressive, they go completely silent. No texts, no calls, no congratulations. They act as if it never happened. Suddenly, they're too busy. Suddenly, they're offline. They pretend they didn't see it. But the moment you make the smallest mistake, they're the first to point it out. You get a new job? Silence. You get a raise? Silence. You mess up once? Instant comment. And it doesn't stop there. Sometimes, they'll go even further, undermining your success in front of others. They'll throw in little comments to downplay what you've achieved. They'll tell mutual friends, "Oh yeah, they got that opportunity, but it's not as big as it sounds." It's good, but I mean, anyone in their position could have done it. They're acting like they did something amazing, but honestly, I've seen better. The worst part? They might even act like they're looking out for you. They'll say things like, "I just don't want you to get ahead of yourself. I'm just saying this as a friend. Don't let it go to your head." But a real friend, a real supporter, they don't hesitate to celebrate your wins. They don't make excuses to hold back their joy for you. They don't pretend to cheer for you while secretly hoping you fall. So, the next time someone gives you a compliment that leaves you feeling worse instead of better, trust your instincts. You're not imagining it. That wasn't support. That was jealousy in disguise. 2. They copy you, but never give you credit. At first, it feels like a coincidence. You get a new hairstyle, and a week later, they show up with the exact same look. You start wearing a certain style of clothes, and suddenly, their wardrobe starts to look familiar. You mention an idea in conversation, and next thing you know, they're repeating it like it was their own. But then, you realize, it's not a coincidence. They're watching you, studying you. Every move you make, every choice, every little success, they notice it. And instead of supporting you, they try to become you. But here's the key difference. They'll never acknowledge where they got it from. If they take your idea, they'll act like they came up with it themselves. If they adopt your habits, they'll pretend they've been doing it all along. If they mimic your style, they'll claim they just happened to like it. And it doesn't stop at small things. Sometimes, they'll copy your entire personality. You pick up a new hobby? Suddenly, they're an expert in it. You start speaking in a certain way? They start using the same phrases. You change your mindset? They start giving you advice on the very thing you inspired them to do. It's almost unnerving, like they're trying to rewrite reality. You can literally watch them transform into a version of you, but with one crucial difference. They want to outshine you at being you. They don't just copy, they compete. They want to prove that they can do it better. If you get praised for something, they'll find a way to steal that spotlight. If people admire you for something, they'll rush to claim that same admiration for themselves. And when you notice it, when you finally call it out, you'll get one of two reactions. Denial. They'll act surprised. What? No, I had no idea you were doing that. Defensiveness. They'll flip it on you. Wow, you really think everything is about you, huh? But deep down, they know exactly what they're doing. They can't stand to see you be great on your own, so they try to merge into your greatness, as if by copying you, they can steal your magic. A real friend? A real supporter? They celebrate your uniqueness. They admire you without trying to absorb you. But someone who's jealous? They'll try to wear your skin like a mask, all while pretending they don't see you at all. 3. They give you backhanded compliments. At first, it seems like they're being nice. They sound like they're praising you. But something feels off. There's a sting hidden inside their words, a little twist that turns their compliment into an insult. Oh, wow! You actually did a good job on this. I didn't expect that. You're so lucky everything just works out for you. You look great today. I wish I had that much time to focus on myself. It's amazing how you don't even try, and things just happen for you. See the pattern? They never give you pure, genuine praise. There's always a little poison mixed in, a little jab, a little doubt. And the worst part? If you call them out on it, they'll flip the script on you. Wow, I was just trying to be nice. Can't you take a compliment? You're too sensitive. I didn't mean it like that. I'm just being honest. But here's the truth. Honesty doesn't need to hurt. Real compliments don't come with a dagger hidden inside them. So why do they do it? Because jealousy doesn't want to admit defeat. They see you shining, and it burns them inside. But instead of just accepting it, instead of just being happy for you, they try to twist your success into something smaller. They try to make you doubt yourself. They want to control your confidence. If they can make you second-guess your own achievements, if they can make you feel like you're not that special, then they don't have to face the truth, that you're ahead of them. A real friend? They lift you up with their words. They make you feel stronger. A jealous person? They disguise their resentment as a compliment, hoping you'll swallow it whole. 4. They copy you, but never acknowledge it. Imitation is supposed to be the sincerest form of flattery, right? But what if someone is constantly copying you, your style, your ideas, your achievements, yet acting like it was all their own? At first, it might seem harmless. You try a new hairstyle, and suddenly, they show up with the same one. You start dressing a certain way, and a few weeks later, their wardrobe looks eerily familiar. You pick up a new hobby or skill, and before you know it, they're suddenly into it too. Coincidence? Maybe once, maybe twice. But when it keeps happening, when they mirror your moves while pretending they came up with it on their own, that's not admiration. That's envy in disguise. And it gets worse. Not only do they copy you, but they also compete with you, often without you even realizing it. You start a business, they suddenly have a better idea. You get a promotion, they find a way to downplay it and say they're about to do something big, too. You share an idea, they run with it as if it were theirs. You achieve something, they either act unimpressed or try to outshine you. And here's the key difference between admiration and jealousy. A true admirer will respect and acknowledge your influence. They might even say, "You inspired me to try this." But a jealous person? They'll act like you don't exist. They won't give you credit. They won't acknowledge that they're following your lead. Instead, they'll pretend they were always this way, as if their sudden shift in interests or ambitions had nothing to do with you. Why? Because deep down, they don't want to be seen as following you. That would mean admitting that you're ahead, that you're a step ahead of them in something. And jealousy hates admitting that. But you'll notice the pattern. The same way the moon reflects the light of the sun without creating its own, they reflect you. And yet, they'll never let you know that you're their source of light. 5. They celebrate your failures more than your successes. This is a powerful sign that you need to pay attention to. When someone seems to celebrate your missteps, struggles, or failures, but downplays your achievements. Let's break this down. When you're succeeding, a true friend or supporter will feel happy for you. They'll cheer you on, celebrate your wins, and uplift you even higher. They understand that your success doesn't take away from their own. They know that the world is big enough for both of you to win. But for a person who's jealous of you, the opposite happens. When you fail, they light up. They might pretend to act sympathetic or offer some fake words of encouragement, but underneath, they're enjoying the moment. It's almost as if your downfall gives them a sense of relief. It's like they think, finally, they've messed up. They're not perfect after all. Maybe they'll act like your failure isn't a big deal, almost as if they saw it coming. Or they might bring it up at every possible opportunity, subtly digging the knife in deeper. They'll gossip about your mistakes, exaggerating them to others, fueling the narrative that you're not as great as people think. But when you succeed, they'll brush it off. They'll act indifferent or even dismissive. If they have to acknowledge it, they'll do it in a way that makes it sound less impressive than it really is. It's not about you, it's about them. Your success threatens them because they feel small in comparison. They might act supportive on the surface, but deep down, they'll downplay your victories to avoid feeling inferior. They want to bring you down to their level because that's the only way they feel they can stay in the game. In their eyes, your success is a constant reminder that they haven't achieved what they want. So, they focus on your failures, magnifying them to make themselves feel better. It's a twisted way of trying to diminish your worth while building themselves up in their mind. You might catch them smirking when something goes wrong for you, or overhear them saying, "I told you so," when something doesn't go as planned. It's a reflection of their own internal insecurities. Their jealousy is so rooted in fear that they can only find peace by celebrating your mistakes. They can't celebrate your success because, deep down, they feel it exposes their own inadequacies. But remember, true success isn't about how others react to you. It's about how you handle it. Keep your focus on your growth and ignore those who find pleasure in your struggles. 6. They constantly compete with you, even when there's no need. To this sign is one of the clearest ways jealousy shows up in relationships, whether personal or professional. When someone is constantly competing with you, even when the competition isn't real, it's a massive red flag. True friends or supportive colleagues don't see your success as something to compete with. They understand that each person has their own unique journey, and they're happy for you when you reach your goals. However, the jealous person can't stand the thought of you doing well without them, and they'll always try to one-up you, even when there's no reason to. In conversations, they might constantly try to shift the focus back to themselves, trying to make their achievements sound bigger or more impressive than yours. They'll see even your smallest victories as a challenge they need to surpass. It's never about enjoying life together. It's about proving that they are better, smarter, or more capable. At work, if you get a promotion or recognition, they'll instantly start comparing their progress and finding ways to make their accomplishments look better than yours. They don't want to celebrate your wins, they want to beat you. This constant need to compete can turn everything into a contest. It might feel like no matter what you do or say, they're always trying to outdo you. For example, if you get a new car, they'll make a big deal about upgrading theirs. If you start a new project, they'll make sure theirs is bigger and better. Even in social settings, they'll try to make it seem like their life is more exciting or fulfilling than yours. The problem with this mindset is that it's exhausting. It takes the joy out of real friendships or relationships and turns everything into a race. Instead of enjoying each other's company, you're left feeling like you're always walking on eggshells, worried about their reactions to your success. The worst part? This type of behavior makes it hard to truly connect. Instead of cheering each other on, the relationship becomes a constant struggle for dominance. They will act like they're happy for you, but their actions speak louder than words. Their jealousy manifests through subtle remarks or actions that show they can't stand seeing you shine. So, how do you deal with it? First, recognize that their behavior isn't about you. It's about their own deep-seated insecurities and fears. They don't feel good enough on their own, so they need to constantly compete to prove they matter. You can't change their behavior, but you can choose how much energy you give it. Don't let their need for competition derail your confidence or happiness. Stay focused on your own path, and remember that your success doesn't diminish theirs. It just elevates you both. But it's up to you to recognize and stop feeding into the endless cycle of comparison. 7. They subtly put you down or diminish your achievements. One of the most insidious signs of jealousy is when someone puts you down in subtle ways, making you feel less than you are, or diminishing your achievements. Instead of directly attacking your success, the jealous person employs underhanded tactics to make you question your value. These comments are often disguised as jokes or constructive criticism, but they carry a deeper, more malicious intention. You might hear phrases like, "I guess you got lucky this time." "That's nice, but I've seen better." "Oh, I didn't think you were capable of doing that." "Wow, didn't expect that from someone like you." At first glance, these might seem like harmless remarks, but in reality, they're trying to make you feel smaller or less worthy. They might not say outright that they're jealous, but the passive-aggressive nature of these comments tells you all you need to know. When someone's envious, they want to take the shine off your victory. They can't stand the fact that you're doing well, so instead of celebrating with you, they'll subtly try to make it seem like your success doesn't matter, or that you didn't really earn it. This way, they don't feel as threatened by your progress. These comments are dangerous because they can start to eat away at your confidence. If you don't recognize them for what they are, jealousy disguised as casual remarks, You may start doubting your achievements and feeling inferior. This behavior is rooted in the need to control how you feel about your own success. By belittling you, the jealous person tries to maintain power over you, making you question your worth. Here's the harsh truth. They can't stand seeing you rise, and they don't know how to celebrate your success because they're too busy resenting it. Instead of uplifting you, they bring you down, making you feel guilty for achieving something they wish they could have. What can you do when faced with this? The first step is to stop internalizing these remarks. Recognize that these comments aren't a reflection of your abilities or value. They're a reflection of the jealous person's own emotional struggles. Their bitterness is rooted in their insecurities, not your achievements. Responding with confidence and self-assurance is key. Instead of getting defensive or trying to explain yourself, simply acknowledge their comment and continue to focus on your path. Your success doesn't require validation from anyone else. Over time, their need to diminish your success will fade, especially if they see that their words no longer have any power over you. 8. They start competing with you for no reason. Jealous people often feel the need to compete with you, even when there's no real competition. Their jealousy stems from their desire to be seen as equal, if not better, than you. This need to compete doesn't come from a place of healthy ambition. It comes from a fear of being overshadowed. You might notice that they try to match or outdo your achievements even in areas that aren't relevant to them. For instance, if you get a new job, they'll suddenly start looking for a better one, even if they were previously content in their position. If you buy a new car, they'll start talking about buying something bigger or more expensive, even though they didn't have that interest before. This behavior isn't just about keeping up. It's about feeling threatened by your progress and the fear of being left behind. They'll often bring up comparisons, subtly making it seem like you're not as good as they are, or that they're working harder than you. They'll start measuring every move you make, trying to one-up you or outshine you, whether it's in your career, personal life, or social circles. For example, you might hear them say, "Oh, you just got promoted? I was thinking about applying for that position too, but I'm probably more qualified. You got into that prestigious program? I'm thinking of applying next year. I could easily get in. Wow, you got a new house? I've been house hunting for months. I think I found something better though." It's not just about competing with you directly. It's about trying to make everything a contest, a way to outdo you and prove they are better. The truth is, they're not interested in bettering themselves for the sake of personal growth. They're only competing because they feel threatened by your success. When faced with this, it's important to recognize the underlying insecurity in their behavior. Instead of getting dragged into their competition, you can respond by continuing to focus on your own path, embracing your achievements, and keeping your intentions clear. Their competition isn't a reflection of your worth or abilities. It's a sign of their own emotional turmoil. You don't need to play their game. Stay focused on your goals and avoid falling into the trap of comparing yourself to others. When they see that you aren't bothered by their constant need for validation, their attempts to compete will eventually lose their power. 9. They discredit your achievements. One of the clearest signs that someone is jealous of you is when they try to downplay or discredit your achievements. Instead of congratulating you or celebrating your successes, they'll find ways to make your accomplishments seem insignificant or even unworthy. They may try to convince you and others that your success wasn't earned or isn't deserved. You could hear things like, "Oh, you got that award? It's probably just because you're lucky. You started your own business? It's easy to succeed when you have all the resources. Wow, you made that sale? Well, anyone could have done that with the right connections." Their goal is to strip away the value of what you've worked hard for. This discrediting behavior comes from their inability to acknowledge your efforts without feeling threatened. They see your success as a mirror reflecting their own insecurities, and instead of being motivated by it, they feel resentment. This can be particularly harmful in social or professional settings, as they may attempt to sow doubt about your capabilities in front of others. The deeper motive here is to make you feel small and undeserving of your success, ultimately lowering your self-esteem and boosting their own fragile ego. However, what these people don't understand is that genuine success cannot be undermined by petty comments or attempts to discredit. Real achievements speak for themselves, and no amount of jealousy-driven negativity can take that away from you. If you find yourself facing this, remember to stay grounded and don't allow their words to diminish your worth. Instead of getting defensive, recognize that their need to discredit you is a reflection of their own inner dissatisfaction. They feel better when they try to take you down because it temporarily alleviates their own feelings of inadequacy. Instead of engaging with their attempts to minimize your success, keep moving forward and let your actions prove them wrong. People who are truly secure in themselves will recognize and appreciate your achievements, while those who are jealous will only try to tear you down. The key is to stay confident in who you are and the journey you're on. 10. They compete with you unnecessarily. Another clear sign someone is jealous of you is when they feel the need to compete with you unnecessarily. They constantly try to one-up you, even when there's no competition. This behavior stems from their desire to prove that they are better than you, or that they're on the same level, if not above, no matter what the situation is. For example, if you share something positive about your life, whether it's a new accomplishment, a personal achievement, or a simple good day, they might respond with something that, in their eyes, is an even bigger deal. You got that promotion? Well, I just landed a huge deal at work. You're traveling to Paris? I've already been to 5 different countries this year. That's a cool new car you bought. I've been driving the latest model for months now. Even if you're not trying to compare or compete, they will feel the need to make sure that their story is better than yours. They want to feel superior in every conversation. This isn't about sharing success or celebrating wins together. It's about making sure their achievements are constantly placed above yours. The motive here is driven by insecurity. They feel threatened by your success or progress and need to feel that they are still the top player in the game. Instead of being happy for you or offering support, they turn every situation into a comparison to make sure they are still ahead. If you notice this behavior, it's essential to recognize that their competition is not really with you. It's with their own sense of inadequacy. They see your successes as a reminder of what they feel they are missing or lacking in their own lives. This is where their constant need to compete with you comes from. Rather than getting caught up in their need for comparison, remember that your achievements are yours alone. Don't allow someone's unhealthy competition to define how you measure your worth or your success. Real success is not about outdoing others. It's about growing and achieving your own personal goals. Don't let anyone distract you from your own path by pushing unnecessary competition. Remember, jealousy often reflects a deeper insecurity. Keep shining, keep achieving, and let your success speak for itself.